days, 25 a day each day, compared to doing. But that wouldn't be the same schedule that my mom gave me. Now she said that it's okay for me to go up on Sundays, like if I wanted to, but she'd much rather me just spend that time, kind of relaxing, being consistent. She's trying to basically push me very slowly, as I'm pretty new to this being consistent every day kind of thing. So as a result, she's been really, really hesitant about me kind of going, like, I'm trying to find a better phrase for this, but like like a like a cat out of hell trying to run through and get as much up as possible.
Hey Isaiah,
Yeah.
I could be, I'm shooting in the dark here. I feel like you're kind of like thinking like tech a lot, and you're like, I gotta like pound it every day like crazy. And I think you're kind of, that's kind of where that's coming from. But that just might be me guessing. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
like I said, it gives me anxiety to only put up 5 on Sundays.
Yeah.
It's really relaxing, but it's like,
But why? Okay, if you listen to the idea. Okay, what's the goal for per week?
it would be 25 times 5 plus 20 plus 5, so 25 times 6. I don't know what that number is. Is that
So
150?
150.
150.
Okay, so why don't you do 30 listings Monday through Friday? Take the weekends off.
Oh, because the reason why I work on Saturdays is because my wife isn't here on Saturday, so I just get work done then.
Okay, I still think you should do 30 listings Monday through Friday, or 5 days a week, because that gives you a day in case something happens. So you could take Saturday off if you want to. If you want to
Yeah.
do extra credit, that's okay. But then you can have your listings launch every day. I don't work on Sundays. So I mean, it's like you should have the I'm sorry, I don't work Saturdays. You should build it so it's set up right. Like, I think that your tech's motto is do whatever work you need to do in the time allotted. It's not work all day. It's get your work done as soon as possible so you have time to do other things. He just likes work, so he does his other things are also work. It just depends. Like for him, a hobby is starting this podcast, or a hobby is making rulers on the back porch. If your hobby is archery, that would be what you do instead, or hanging out with your wife, or cooking, or whatever it is. But I want to simplify it for people. Like, okay, this is something I realized yesterday talking to my wife. Tech's operating system is kind of negative in nature, in a sense that if you do it, you won't fail. Right? But that's not like a positive way of looking at things, like do this and you will succeed. It's not built like that. The way that he sets up his mindset, and it's transferred to me too, it prevents you from screwing up because you don't do a lot of things. You just do the things that are correct. But that kind of mindset is kind of interesting. Like, for example, if you don't have a dog, you won't have any dog problems. If you don't edit your photos, you won't have any editing photos problems. Right? You can just eliminate all the things that don't matter and it will adjust it. So you have plenty of time to do 150 listings. And Isaiah, what was the time allocation that you do? Like, how many listings per hour?
Let me run through it again. It would be pictures would probably take 25 pictures takes around 34 minutes maybe. And then the listings would take about 2 hours. 2 hours for everything. Roughly.
Okay. So let's say it takes 3 hours. That's still, if you're doing 7 days of work, that's 3 times 7, that's 21 hours worth of work. You could do 21 hours worth of work in 2 days and take 5 days off.
Yes,
the amount of work that's done each week is the same. You just do it in whatever time allocation that you want to do. There's no shortcut to doing it in less than 21 hours. It's just, how do you want to schedule your day so that you get it done? There's people in the group that list 70 on Saturday and take the rest of the week off. 10 a day. You don't like going hard every single day is a different thing than listing. That's not the same as what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I was just trying to figure out because this week, well, last week I hit my listing goal every day. This week I was wondering like maybe I could try to get 6 days done in seven. I mean 7 days done in six.
Yep.
And then next week, potentially try the 5 days into seven. Just to take it a little bit slower. Because again, she wants me to be like
The thing is, Isaiah, it's not slower. It's the same. That's why I want everyone to really think about this. It's not slower. It's exactly the same, whether you do it in 1 day or you do it in 7 days. It's the same amount of work. You have to think about it as in your eBay business. Like, okay, would you work at Pizza Hut? They didn't tell you how many hours it was?
No.
I wouldn't. Right?
Yes, exactly.
If you work for Pizza Hut and you do 2 10s, is it the same as 5 2-hour shifts? It's the same. Everyone totally needs to redefine how they look at eBay. How many hours you work on it is really important. It's not, the days actually don't matter. The days don't matter. It's and the work-life balance is like, it's important. If you want to have time with your relationships and such, you need to be done with your work. If you're not done, it's going to mess up your relationships. Nothing will mess up your relationships more than your goal is 10 today and you did 0. And then you're trying to hang out with your family. You're going to feel terrible. That's why it's important to have banks or drafts. Like tomorrow, if you want to hang out with your family, pay the $1 to schedule your 10 listings for the next day so you don't have to do it at all. That's, you don't have to schedule your listings every single day, but like the planning for emergency is really important. Like Darcy was saying, you don't know, like when you're like right now, I'll tell you my workers, the goal is 240 a day, 5 days a week. That's the goal for them, right? But when they come to work, it's actually set up to do 300 a day. The reason why it's set up to do 300 a day is because something always comes up. They have to go to the doctor or get an oil change. Normal life stuff happens, but I don't want to miss my goal of 240 a day. So I just plan ahead. I plan ahead for their mistakes. If you were my employee, Isaiah, I would say, okay, tomorrow is Tuesday. What day are you doing, or what time of the day are you doing your 3 hours of eBay?
Well, it's not 3 hours because when you include cleaning, but 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. is what I work every day.
So just make sure that you get it done between 8 and 2 and take the rest of the time off.
Yeah, that's what she's been having me do, like just 8 to 2. And I haven't been super great at finishing way earlier than 2, but if I can like manage to get done around 1, then I can use that extra hour. Like instead of just like taking that whole hour off, I can use that extra hour to bank some drafts, and then that way I can be set up for the next day and hit that goal, because I only need to add an extra 4 pairs per day in order to hit my goal. So,
and that's something that you have to decide for yourself. If you use the extra time to work on your business, I don't personally consider anything wrong with that. I think especially when right now you don't have kids, you don't have a lot of responsibilities, you can get really far ahead. There's people who, if you watch like Millennial Money on YouTube, you can see people who've retired in their 30s or in 20s because they reinvest all their money and that's like their hobby. Their hobby is saving money and real estate and stuff like that. You could keep reinvesting and then be set for life if you keep redoing it that way, but it just depends on your hobbies. And I think that the negative way of looking at it, kind of like the don't do it because there'll be less problems way of thinking. Like, okay, let me give you a perfect example of this. Tech told me to use photos that don't need editing like 6 years ago or whatever. He's been telling me use photos that don't require editing because it's less steps, right? It didn't make sense to me until that comment that said it won't not sell. My brain doesn't work unless it's like negatively set up. So it won't not sell to me means made me realize, okay, it won't not sell, which means I can finally not do it. But if you told me it would, like if I tell you guys, doing this 7 days of work in 5 days will work, maybe 90% of you will be like, I'm never going to do that again. But if I tell you that if you don't do 7 days in 5 days, then you're going to be working 7 days a week and your family's going to hate you and you're going to be unhealthy and you're going to be always preoccupied with work, then maybe you'll do it.
That was one of the upsides that I've been able to, ever since I got the schedule, I've been able to exercise lately. My health is much better. I did a race, which was fun. So that's all been good. Those have been great benefits from it. Speaking of that, things coming up, like the thing that came up Saturday that made it so that I had to do my listings later in the day was, since I had that race because someone else broke their foot and they needed me to sub in. As a result, like my body was thrashed the entire day. So I had to sleep for a long time, which kind of threw off the schedule a little bit. So then I had to bust butt in the evening in order to get everything done.
Last thought. The one thought that, like, for example, for me, saving for retirement sounds like a weird concept to me because it's in the future. But being broke when I'm old sounds horrible to me. And that works. I'm like, okay, then I have to set up stuff so that I'm not broke when I'm old. But that's kind of a negative way of looking at it. But for some reason, it just resonates better with me. Maybe it was the way I was raised, but like, I don't operate well with, it's like Philip was saying with the tobacco ads, when they did the tobacco gives you cancer ads, I think tobacco use went up because people were like thinking about it. And anyway, it's just, it's so interesting looking at how all, because everyone needs to focus on their psychology. Catherine?
Yeah, so being so new to this, I was doing a puzzle last night and I'm at the end of the puzzle where it's all just, every piece is blue and every piece is the same color blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking for a particular piece and I'm picking up pieces that I know for sure will not fit into that spot, but I'm trying them anyway because I can't find the right piece. That's how I feel right now about this process. I'm just picking up pieces and trying them because I'm so new to it. I'm overwhelmed.
Yep.
Like reset to zero and banking items and how do you know what number bin you put your items in, and adjusting my setup to the 4 steps, knowing my numbers and charts and graphs. I don't know where to start. I don't know which one of those things
How new are you?
Well, I've been doing eBay for a couple of years, but this whole process, I'm very new to.
Okay, so this process that I just put in the chat, that is the order of the puzzle. If you do it this way, it eliminates a lot of the problems with eBay. If you prep items, then you photograph them, then you list them, then you put the items away, and then you ship. If you do it in this order, it reduces so many of the headaches on eBay, and they don't teach you that when you go to ebay.com. But if they had like a 5-minute video where they said, hey, if you don't do it this way, you're going to have a lot of problems in the future. For me, that would resonate. But I think maybe they have the other message that says, if you do it in this order, you'll be successful. That's the positive way of looking at it. Go ahead.
I'm very much a visual learner. So I watched the video on that Tech did.
Yep.
Showing the 4 steps, but I don't understand certain little parts of it. Like, where do you write down what bin you're putting your item in, so you know what bin it's in when you go to pull it?
Maybe I should do, because he doesn't use a bin system, so maybe I should do my 2-minute version of that video, because I added in as the last photo.
But are you writing it like on a piece of paper or?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Bin number?
Let me open this up.
You mean, how do you know, like, when you're going to go pull when it sells, where it's at? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, because if I, like right now, up until now, I've used the whiteboard, and written down the measurements on the whiteboard and any flaws, and then what bin I put it in and what I paid for it. And so that's my last picture, is that whiteboard shot. But I don't want to do all that writing. That's very
Right.
time consuming. So if I have this pile and they're all prepped, and I take all the photographs, and then I go to list them all. When I go to put the items away, if I pull a bin and it's got 5 items left in it and I want to fill the bin back up, how do I know how many items I'm going to put in there unless I label each item with
Well,
bin 40?
well, the way I do it is, I don't assign a bin to something until I put it away. And mine are like, today I'm doing items 4790 through, I don't know, I have my numbers, but I know what labels I'm putting on my bags. And then when I put them away after I'm done today, maybe I have room in bin H, or I have room in bin J1. It's pretty easy to go back in eBay and edit my SKU. So like my custom SKU says, I'm looking at one right now, my custom SKU says 3474-X. That comes up on the thing when it's sold. So I know to go to bin X to get item number 3474.
But if you're listing first and then putting away, you have to know what number to put in the SKU. Right?
I assign an item number that has nothing to do with the bin it goes in. Like I have item numbers assigned to shoes,
It's
but I
too
don't
difficult to keep it simple.
Go
you
ahead,
know what I
Jeff.
mean?
Hi, I'm a total noob. Been watching you on YouTube for a long time now. In 4 months, I've gone from 50 items to 650, and my bin system hasn't failed me yet. I'm not saying it's the most efficient, but when you're starting, this might work. When I photograph, I list, and I put the bin number, like this one, 37, at the end of my description in the title. And then I put the letter. So for example, this would be 37W, and I actually write that on the polymailer. So I'm putting it away in a plastic sleeve, then in the polymailer, I write 37W on the polymailer. I put this little clothespin at the tip of the polymailer, and I'm just setting those aside. And then once I've got 10 or 15 of them, then I pull out my bin. I make the label for the bin. And then what I do when I sell an item, each item I sell has one of these little things on it. So now that goes into my next day's pile. And then my next item I sell is now whatever I sold yesterday's number, and that goes into the bin that came from. Again, I know it probably isn't the most efficient, but that's what I've come up with.
Well, Jeff, that explanation wouldn't make sense to Catherine because she is a visual learner. So I will try to hold on one second. Somebody needs to mute. Hold on.
I tried to use visuals. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Okay. So I think what Catherine is struggling with is she doesn't have the location during listing. So if you have the paperclip system or what Darcy uses, which is reusable bags that have the item number on it or the location on it, then you would know where it is while you're listing, where it would go. That's the answer you're looking for. I do the same thing, and everyone does the same thing. You have to determine the location before you start listing. Then you don't get hung up because you can add that in as you go. And so for me, I look for open spaces in the bins first and record those spaces, because that's what I use next. If you have a reusable system like Jeff or Darcy, where you reuse the same numbers, then you can just recycle this back in. Travis, do you have some feedback?
Oh, I was going to say, I guess I do it after, and it's really easy to edit the numbers because you can just sort by newest listings and edit straight from that screen. So maybe that's the missing piece. You can literally edit all your SKUs from one screen.
That's right. That's
So that's
also
the
a way to
missing
do it.
piece that they're not explaining. People put them away after. They're just coming back and editing all of them at one time, and it goes super quick. And that's how I do mine. I don't bag them. I don't do any of that other stuff. I just literally put a sticker on it, throw it in a bin, write down where I put it, come back and do them all, and it goes super quick.
So that is not how I was explaining it earlier. So that might be confusing, but that I'll show you what Travis means. So when you sort in your listings by newly listed, right here, you can edit the custom SKU on your eBay listings. So you could put them all, like this is sorted by the ones I just listed a few minutes ago. So I could go back and edit the custom SKU afterwards, and I could just see, oh, the last 10 that I did went into bin number 4. So then go over to bin number 4 and change these all to 4 and be done. But for me, since I don't want to lose anything, since I've switched to having the photo, the last picture is this number, I never lose anything now because I have it here and I also have it in the custom SKU. I also have it here. So here and in the picture.
I think it makes a difference too. Like all my storage is just in my basement. So I can just take my big rubber totes that I put each bag into after I've done it, and I go down to the end of the day and I go, okay, this one an H, this, and then I just go right through and add it on, like he said.
So I guess
having to go off site, I think it's harder. And
there's a few different methods here, so it's a bit confusing, but essentially the location of the item is entered in generally during listing or after. Some people do it after. I didn't know people did it that way. Go ahead, Eduardo.
Yeah, Chris, I just wanted to ask you real quick about that last thought you said about adding that SKU in the last picture, which comes from tech, which I thought it was a brilliant idea. However, in our case, the last picture we take has the paper with the SKU, has the quantity, and it has a description of what the item is. And it's written like in pen. So I'm wondering, like, should I just like have 2 things and then do 2 pictures instead of 1? Because I'm not sure I want to, because we have kind of like, I want to say replenishables in the sense that we get stuff all the time. So we have 10, 8 of the same thing. And sometimes, like, should I just put that in there? Doesn't it look kind of like unprofessional to have that? Because it's not only the number, it's the number, the description, handwritten by whoever ID'd it. Because our process is different to whatever you guys do. So I'm just curious what your thoughts were on that.
I personally don't think that it is a bad buyer experience because it shows the buyer that you care. Like if it's if you're selling PlayStations, then yes, it's unprofessional because you should be organized enough not to do that. But if you're selling thousands of random items, I think it shows the customer that you have a system that you're trying to prevent defects and accurately describe it and measurements and how many you have. I think it's perfectly reasonable. It's the same concept as should you have white background? I think white background is more professional, but it's also not necessary.
Not necessary. Right.
Yeah, that's the.
I'm the same as you. I always, every time you say it, I kind of reinforce it to myself because it's. I was in your chip, I was like, white background, professional looking, the best item. Like I would take pride that my pictures are the best part pictures on eBay. There's no better pictures than ours, but we work really hard for that. And that was, that I started coming apart from that and saying, okay, I'm gonna, just try and make it so that the picture is as best as possible when we take the picture, and no editing, no white backgrounds anymore. I just, I care because I want to see my product something nice. It's like you're proud of your baby, right? You don't want to have an ugly baby on not shower the baby and have it smelling bad or whatever. You want it to shine. And it's kind of like the same thing. It's kind of like that, separating yourself from that concept because it really doesn't matter. It's not a baby. It's not your kid. It's just a business that makes you money, and the part that the pictures are not white or whatever, the background, that doesn't make any difference. So it's just wiring into your brain. It's just.
I think it does depend. You can I'll give you guys an example. This is my friend Matt. He takes pride in having the best photos on eBay, right? These photos are extraordinary, in my opinion. They're all white balanced. Every single item is photoshopped. Every single picture is perfectly straight. There's a really close detail on every single shot. He has like, this is exactly what it looks like. Okay, this is extraordinary. Very straight, right? Very organized. He charges way more than everybody else. Okay, he doesn't have any returns, so no returns. Seller does not accept returns, right? In my opinion, this is the suit. He even has the pictures blown up and larger down here. It's a very premium, high class version of eBay. You can do it this way. You can charge. It's just a different model. You can charge more. You can charge almost double as much as everybody else because it's like so high end, and it just prevents you from doing more volume. It just depends on what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with taking a lot of pride in what you do. And his store is not even that small. It still has 2,000 items.
Right. I was kind of there, and I was charging higher. I was doing better quality pictures. I was getting the exact information from the right sources. I was trying to, like, right now, yesterday, I called eBay because I just wanted their opinion, and I'm going to throw it to you as well. Because I was doing like a figure that had about 13 parts, different accessories that were a lot of them small. And sometimes I thought maybe the customer can get confused. So what I did was I added the 12 listings, one listing for each part. And then in each picture, I added one picture with the full figure, with all his accessories. So, and I would put reference pictures. And then in the description, I would say reference pictures not included. But because I'm trying to help that buyer, it's like when you're buying a car part and you kind of go to a diagram and you're like, okay, I need this screw or this part. Like, am I buying the right one? Is it going to work? You're always having that kind of thought in your brain because you're not sure if the one you're buying is going to fit whatever figure you have. So I want to kind of go one step further. I want to have that there because when we scale the store to have 10,000 items or 30,000, I don't want people writing me asking like, is this the one that goes with this figure? That so I'm trying to make it but in that sense as well, it takes more time. And yes, I was charging more, but I'm trying to get on your bus, right? I'm trying to follow what you guys are doing as well. List more, not pay attention to the picture, the background of the picture, not pay attention.
I think it depends on your model. That's why I want to make sure. That's why, Eduardo, I feel like you sometimes struggle with this group because when somebody has a great idea, you don't have to implement it into your store because it's a different model.
Right.
Like I think everybody in the group wants the same pictures as my friend Matt. Who doesn't want perfect pictures? Everything is photoshopped, perfect color balance. Everything is neat. But of course there's a price to pay for that. He only takes 6 sets of pictures an hour. It takes 10 minutes to do that. You have to steam every single item, 6 an hour. That's 10 minutes per set of photos. There's a price you pay for the
photos. I don't have a problem because I have one person doing it.
But I'm just saying, you need to decide for your own store what is the best for you, because for some people, that's not, if he's selling items that sometimes are $10,000. It requires that kind of attention to detail. If you're selling $20 items, then it doesn't. So Donna's asking if my friend does templates for his listings. He does. He has one of those pre-purchased templates. Let's look at another store that does this. Let's look at this. I love looking at these because it just shows you what can be done. So Goose Guy 84, this guy's $1 million listed in his eBay store. It's very cool. Another, like his average sale price is like $100 and he has 6,000 items in his store. But the attention to detail on the photos it's just so awesome. Like, how do you take a pre-owned picture like that? It's amazing. It just requires steaming, and actually he's gotten a little lazy. This is like a picture of one of my pictures. Normal, and this is not centered. So he must be having somebody else take pictures now because it's more sloppy than before. But it's just that's not necessary for some people.
Right. I guess I'm trying to balance, Chris. I'm trying to get good ideas and see if they fit into my model or not, and trying to kind of like make sense of what you guys sometimes say about scaling and doing more listings and doing more. Like I have quantity, I have to lower my price, so that kind of also got into my brain. So I'm kind of doing all of these things at the same time and trying to see what works and what doesn't, and then just continue moving on. And it's always improvements, you know, it's never going back. It's just trying to see what else somebody says, or what other things some other people say, or that might be good ideas, and try to implement them or not. You know, it's just.
Eduardo, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What's the thing that you use to filter these ideas? Like, how do you filter the ideas that come your way? And what I mean by that, for example, is like sometimes people on Instagram will message me and be like, hey, you should try this new clicker thing, or you should, set it up on a tripod, or this, that, or the other. And the filter that I use to determine whether I'm going to do that or not is how fast are you doing your pictures, right? And then maybe that person tells me, well, it takes me 2 minutes and 52 seconds per photo set in order to do it. And for me, what I care the most about is the speed of my photos. So if I'm doing photos in 1 minute and 14 seconds each, it doesn't really make sense for me to do something that's going to take me 2 minutes and 50 seconds. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I filter out that idea. Or
I guess the first step would be like, think it through and see if it makes sense to you first.
Well, this is exactly my point, because I'll tell you. So JB is saying tech is crushing Matt. I think I'm just going to stick with this method. That's a totally stupid way of looking at it, because then you would just copy the largest store on eBay, and that doesn't apply to you. You can't just take one model that's the best and then you do it that way, because if it doesn't apply to you. There's 1,000 stores on eBay that have more sales than tech. It depends on the model, though. You have to apply it to whether or not it works for you or not. You have to have a filter, like Isaiah was saying. Matt's model, Matt never sources for inventory because his store is the business card. People who shop his store send stuff to him. He never needs, I think he's 6 years ahead with inventory. People who shop his store send their premium items to him to do consignment. It's a consignment store. He lists 10 items a day. That's his goal. 10 items a day forever, really high ASP. He takes 20%. Everyone keeps the customer keeps the rest. He never needs to worry about inventory because his store is extraordinary. If you wanted to get top dollar for your item, you would send it to Matt. If you want to make millions of dollars selling pre-owned clothing, then you would go to tech and become a buyer for him. If you want to sell toys, you wouldn't go to tech because he doesn't sell toys. Everyone needs to have this filter that, JB is trying to justify this, but it's different for different people. It doesn't work. You can't pick and choose what you like and what you don't like, and then use that as the model. It has to apply to what you're doing. Right.
But in the end, Chris, I mean, I'm in the group. I'm following you guys. I'm listening. I'm collaborating. I'm also giving ideas or whatever. I think the group has a great north. If the north exactly applies to me, or maybe I'm a little bit northeast or northwest, but I'm still going north is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I kind of follow the group. And even though you guys talk all day long about clothing, it's like I try to grab or take whatever I think is a good idea for me, or that I could implement. Like the other day, somebody spoke in the group about that classified green piece of cardboard or a piece of construction paper that they have in their boxes, and they bring it up front just to know which boxes have empty space. That was a brilliant idea. And it's just like one interesting thing that somebody was doing that I had not thought about. So, I take that. Somebody's doing something with the inventory systems, just listen and grow, and whatever you think could apply, as Isaiah was saying. It's just, what?
My only anxiety about that, which is why I asked you the question initially, is just that I don't want you to get into a position that I've been in many times, in which you like see an idea and you go, oh, let me go try that. And then like you spend half the day trying that idea, and you see another idea and you go try that and you try that. Instead of like with tech probably sees hundreds, and Chris, they see hundreds of ideas, and they're at the point where they're like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't need to do that because
Yeah,
I
they
have
know
the
what works
filter.
already,
So,
right?
yeah, they tell me that they know already that, like, although this might be a cool idea, this doesn't get me to what my goal is faster. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I asked, like, what is your filter? Why, like, what's the thing that eliminates these ideas for you? Because otherwise you'd end up trying everything.
Just
So, like,
myself. Just I think about it, and if it makes
and
sense, or I think I can, it could potentially bring something good to our business, and we try to implement it. If
the
not,
thing
we'll
about
just
the thing about these ideas, though, is that most of them will bring good to your business in some way or the other. Like with that clicker, right? That clicker would make me have steadier photos. They'd all be from the same angle. So there's a benefit to it. The issue is it would take me an extra minute per photo set, which means my entire process takes longer. So that's not something that I really want. I want to be done at 2 o'clock every day.
I get what you're saying.
I'm gonna
I get
give
what
you one, guys, another example of a cool store. I don't know if this is DIY Mike's store, the YouTuber, or if it's somebody who copied him. But basically, I know he's in Las Vegas, so I'm looking up his store. Essentially, what he does is he sells car parts, and then when he finds one that's popular, he orders it. I'm sorry, he doesn't order; he makes it in-house in Las Vegas. So this guy does 30 sales a day with replenishable listings only, does $1 million a year in sales and $300,000 in profit by himself. I'd say that's pretty good, right? Pretty straightforward business. Doesn't do list, doesn't list at all. He just has the same listings over and over again that keep reselling. This is a different type of model. Everything that we're talking about right now doesn't apply to this store, right? You have to look at what it is. And there's people in the group that do totally different models and listen to this call and they're just picking and choosing which ideas to improve for themselves. But this is an example of a store that is in one niche, and they're really, I think that $1 million in sales and $200,000 or $300,000 profit is the tech version that everyone can do. Like JB was mentioning, saying that maybe those employees have more employees. I know of stores that make great money with no employees. You just have to look at exactly. Philip says tech makes millions of dollars and has something to learn from everyone. It's just I think that's an important takeaway from this call. Everyone needs to have a set of filters for what they want. You know, what is it that you want? Do you want 100 employees? Do you want to use somebody else's money? Because some people want to run a business and get a 6-figure paycheck, whether or not the eBay business does well. Right? Some people operate that way. They want guaranteed money. So, Jeff was saying he thought beautiful photos with white backgrounds might give him a chance to compete with monster sellers. Yeah, that's a common thought. So guys, there's a lot of people cropping photos. What is that? What are you cropping exactly? Does anybody have feedback?
When I crop, it's because my photo box wasn't large enough, and the left and right side showed that stupid seam where the black poles are, and it looks like crap. It looks it. I'm sorry, I have to doctor my photos. That habit is not going to go away. It looks sloppy.
But do you do it on? Is it because you cross this on Poshmark?
No. I don't even do that anymore. I've been doing so well on eBay. I'm just doing eBay now. So
I have a question. If you take the pictures in portrait, so non-square mode, see like this is an example of a picture where it would show the sides if I took it in square mode.
Duh, I could do that.
But I'm saying because I don't want to crop.
I don't want to crop. I do square mode though. Okay.
So this is an example. Like see, some of them are in square mode, right? But the initial photo is not, so I can avoid cropping.
Okay.
Because this is an example of a tech way of looking at things, which is no cropping means no cropping problems. Right? Yeah. So if you eliminate cropping, then you don't need to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Buyers, so Chase says buyers can't use the zoom if you crop right. They can. I was just using the zoom. So, let's see. Let's see if there's a.
If you crop it too much, they won't be able to use the zoom.
How much is too much?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, can you guys see the detail on this? There's close-up pictures. So I don't know. But I mean, Mindy,
What?
feedback? Oh, did you have some feedback?
No, I had a question I wanted to ask before the call ended, though. So,
Go ahead.
but it's not related to what you're talking about. So.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to know if anybody was using the new feature where you can send a coupon to the people that have bought things right on the, like, right going from your solds.
I have not used that, but I might ask Tech how he uses it.
Well, I started using it and I made a particular coupon, and it's a good coupon. It's for 25% off. And I am actually sending it to anybody who leaves me positive feedback. So I think those are the customers I want returning. So, because you can go back your 90-day solds and it'll, shows you who left you feedback. And I then send them a coupon.
Makes sense to me.
So, and it says, thanks for the purchase in the comment. And the coupon code is love my customers. We'll see. I just started doing it. So we'll see if it helps at all. But I thought that, and I think I put the expiration date as September 30th. So I'm trying to get people to say, oh yeah, I like what I got from her. Let me go back and see what else she has. Like following my store.
That's a great idea. How do you do that?
Well, you can do a particular coupon, and then when it says, if you go back to your
what section of eBay do you go to do that?
Okay, where it says paid and shipped orders.
Okay.
You can actually do it from the marketing area, or you can just do it from your orders. You can click to the right.
I'm specifically doing it to people who send me positive feedback, and there's a button on the far right that says send coupon.
Right.
So, and then when you send it, it says coupon sent. And I have
fairly new, Chris. It's really new. It's something fairly new.
But how do you do it in bulk? Can you do it in bulk? Is that from the marketing tab?
I don't know. I obviously don't have as many orders as you. That might take you a while. But if you got in the habit, say you get 20 people that send you positive feedback in a day, you could just go. That could be one of your tasks to do in the day. Send the coupon to those people.
Oh, especially if you did like right after they sent it to you, that'd be so cool. They'd be like, I give this person the positive feedback. They gave me a coupon. That's kind of cool. It'd be really cool. I like that.
So yeah,
so
let you choose which coupon you want to send them. I have a particular coupon that I use for that.
So you come in here and then what do? You click the send coupon button.
Click send coupon.
All right. So I'm looking for one with positive feedback or something.
That's what I do.
Okay, so then you would click, send coupon, and then it says, create coupon. Okay.
Yeah, and then for me, I have my coupon created. It's an extra 25% off, but I only send it to the people that give me positive feedback.
I see.
Right. Basically, you get pre-do these before doing all of this, and then like we have a couple of coupons, and then I had not thought about Mindy's idea, which is kind of awesome because we could have then 2 coupons. One would be like 10% off and just send it to everybody who buys. And then on your next purchase. And then now with Mindy's idea, it's really cool because we could do one for people who leave feedback, which would be 25% off, which is like a higher rectification. But what we do is we print these out. We have them pre-made, we print them out and we insert them in the orders. So we send the customers 3 to 4 coupons. Like one would be free shipping, what would be, $5 off on any purchase on the future. So basically I'm just giving them a reason to come back every single time. And we just started doing this. So I haven't seen the result yet, but because remember when we ship, it takes 3 to 4 weeks for it to arrive. So to me, it takes a little bit more time for me to be able to give you guys an idea of how it went for me, but it's what we've been doing. It's really cool. The coupons are awesome. We've also set them just as an idea when I read this in a book a long time ago. Basically, when you have a mad customer, it's like things could only go better from there. You know, he's mad already or they're mad already. So basically whatever you can gain out of that would be something good. So when they're really mad or whatever, instead of fighting them back or whatever, we just try to say, hey, thank you. We give them the refund or whatever. And then we even give them a coupon and say, hey, you know, for the next time, unless of course they're taking advantage and you're trying to hurt you in any way. But basically we give them a coupon for the next time. So, and that has saved us. Sometimes they're like really happy because they got a refund. They still even got a 5% or 10% coupon, for next order. I mean, it kind of like, you can pretty much play with those coupons, but it's just ideas, huh?
Right.
Okay, so I just made one. We appreciate you. 20% off. I can send it to them. Thank you for your
Right.
business. 20% off any additional items you want in the future. Have a great day.
Do y'all know if the coupon, can you use it if you already have an existing sale going on? Like if you already have a discount going on, not a coupon, but like a sale.
If you have a markdown, if it's a markdown sale, they probably can use it because that's still the buy it now price. But they
When
can,
you create the
I
coupon,
have
I think you can set it up. You can say not to apply for it.
You can't stack coupons.
Well, I'm not using a coupon right now, but if I'm running a sale, because I heard that somebody say that before, that you can't use coupons if there's a sale going, like it has to be bought like full price. So that's why I was asking, like if I'm running a 20% off sale already, and then I sent a 20% off coupon, does that mean they get 40% off? Like,
I think so. Yeah, that's how I interpret it, but I don't know.
Okay, that's what I was wondering if anybody's used it.
Try to create it, Darcy, because I can't remember right now. I would have to go and do it now, but I kind of remember that there was something where when I was setting it up that would let you click like a little check mark or something, like it wouldn't apply to ongoing sales, or you could kind of like determine that. I'm pretty sure it's there. I can't remember right now, but you just try to create a coupon and see what the options are. And I'm pretty much sure there's like a check mark somehow that'll allow you to, in the same way that you can say this can apply for a certain type of product or a certain category or to all of your store, and you can do stuff like that. There's also a way of I think excluding already discounted items. And you can also limit the amount of discount the customer will receive during the life of the coupon, or if the coupon can be used multiple times or one time. So you could say save $5 up to $25 discount. Like they can only use that coupon, say $5 up to $25. After the $25, they cannot use it anymore, and stuff like that.
I guess it's confusing because I don't like John was saying, like, can you send an offer and then use a coupon? I just want to make sure it's not like I have a sale or I send an offer and then, you know, it's kind of like a double dip, like they're getting 50% off or something crazy. So, okay, no on offers. All right.
Right. Yeah. So if you're running a markdown sale, you basically have reduced your price to them. That's your new buy it now price. So yes, they can use a coupon, but if you send them an offer, it immediately negates their ability to use any coupon.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep.
It has to be unique on eBay. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, because Mindy was already using the I love my customers. So
I know.
it
just.
All right.
I have a quick question about.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to get perfect at item specifics for clothing here. And one of the ones that I'm confused on is fabric type. I'm looking at a pair of pants right now. So maybe I could share my screen. Let's see. Is that possible or no?
Go ahead. I think you can. Go ahead.
You think I can't?
You can. I don't know though. I haven't tried having other people share on this call yet.
All right. Oh, here it is. All right, here you go.
Hey, Chris, if we could do that in the future.
I think I enabled it. I just haven't tried
Here you go.
Yeah, I enabled it. Yeah.
You can see it?
Yeah.
So here's the pants. Let me open it in a this tab by itself here. So like here's a close-up of the fabric. It's like your standard fabric. I mean, it looks a little bit kind of dry fit, maybe like nylon-y. Oh yeah, it's
Is it
nylon.
microfiber? Is it like an Adidas like track pant? That's a microfiber.
Is it? Okay.
Like Adidas shirt, all that kind of dry fit stuff, that's microfiber, if I'm not mistaken.
What do you think that's right, Chris?
I leave it blank.
You leave it blank?
This is a good lesson for me because I don't want to leave it blank. I just don't know.
I usually use rayon, not microfiber, nothing against that. But I mean, it's closer to like a rayon fabric or a polyester. But usually like towards the ankle of the pants, you'll see a tag. And on the back of the tag, I'm assuming there's not one there because I guess you may have found it. But there's a tag, or usually on the back of the tag, it tells you the fabric material, right?
Okay. For my own selfish purposes, tomorrow, Darcy, can you come tomorrow?
Hey, sorry, I wasn't. Yes.
Okay. Can tomorrow we just spend the whole time talking about item specifics? Doesn't matter what category.
Yeah.
So like, because I want to go into this on whatever categories people sell in. Let's talk about item specifics and start researching what all these things are. Like, should we be putting like, let's find out. Do most people search rayon? Do they search microfiber?
I think when you're talking about fabrics, you have to think of the most commonly used fabrics that most people know, right? Like most common people, they do not know microfiber, but most people know like lace, some of the other like tweed, chiffon, like some people know those fabrics. And I think you have to think about it. This more so applies to women, I feel like, than men. Like most men, I think when they're searching and they don't know those kinds of things, and that's what they're going to be searching for, unless it's like something like a tweed, like a most commonly men use, like a used fabric for men. But yeah, we talked about this in the Zoom room. Like, I think it would be really knowledgeable for people, especially in women's clothing, to kind of take a deep dive on these item specifics for people to understand, like for dresses, like there's so many different types of styles for dresses, or there's so many different sleeve types.
I think we should do it for every single category, especially clothing, because a lot of clothing sellers in this group. But that's good. I want to start tomorrow. Everyone, Alex, you should come in tomorrow. Let's talk about because I don't know the different knits. I don't know the different fabrics. I think I know most dress styles. I think I know most sleeve styles, but that's just pretty in depth.
But I mean, you've been probably doing it for a while to like get that knowledge of seeing so many items, but some people haven't, and some people struggle with that, and so they leave it blank. But I think sometimes people really do search for those things, so it would be important to know. And like Tech talks about, I think eventually some of those recommended will become required, and so if you already know those things,
I don't think they give enough choice
because
I'm sorry,
they don't. But if you at least know what the choices, what they do have.
Right. I think that before they would require that, they would have to expand the options that you can choose. And to be honest, I think very few men, unless they're buying a high end item and they know what they're doing, I think very few men search by fabric type. And really not a lot of women either.
Yeah.
Unless you're specifically looking for like a chiffon, or you're looking for a wool, or you know what I mean?
Right. That's what I just said. I think men don't really search by fabric as much as maybe women do. Women may do it on certain things, like I said, like chiffon or lace, but men typically don't. But men list women's items, and they, like me, I'm not as knowledgeable in men's, so I would want to know certain men's things, but men list women's items, and they may not know about the different rises in the jeans, or even skirts, or the different style types for dresses. Or
can I say something?
Yeah.
In the everybody's in the Facebook group. In the document that we have, what's that lady's name? I can't remember her name. Brunette. She was having a group. She was doing a group on our thing. Monica. Yeah. Monica. She made a document in there that has a bunch of information. So maybe everybody can go in there and look at it before tomorrow so that we all can really, share the information.
Where
That's
is
a good
that?
idea. We'll also make some guides and tutorials and stuff for the group as well, because I think that's useful. I don't know where
is
Monica's
that thing
guide
we
is.
should look at before tomorrow?
Somebody, Bill, did you just?
You can actually Google it, Alex. Like if you just
I think Bill may have posted it.
yeah, like you could do like a sleeve type for women or men's, or you could do like style types, and it'll be like the first picture on Google. It'll show you all the different style types for dresses or jeans. You could look at, so if you do it on Google and just do like style guides, it'll show you. But if somebody has like maybe a question like, oh, I don't know what this is, like, but
Is it only going to be clothing item specifics or
No,
other categories as well?
no, Eduardo, I said it. Every category.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. All right, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll go deep dive into item specifics. Catherine will also do a storage one because we have not conquered that. I feel like we have conquered photos. I think most people know how to do it, but now we need to figure out item specifics. We need to figure out storage. And I think we'll be good. Gary, before we head off, last thought.
I was just going to say in the group either yesterday or the day before, Tech said that the coupon can only be applied to full price items, if I remember right. So I don't know if there are rules like Eduardo was saying that you could create, but I do remember him saying that when you send that coupon, it can only go to full price. And then once there's like an offer or something sent, that coupon goes out the window.
I agree with that. Or actually, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. That's true. Last thought for JB. Of course, if you have the exact same model as Tech, then his model would be the best. So it depends on your model. But for most people, his model is the best. I think almost everyone in the group, it does apply because none of us have 100 employees and none of us really sell only replenishables in this group. So his model probably is ideal. So it makes sense, JB, to listen to everybody's advice, but just do what he's saying. Because since we started this group, he hasn't changed a single thing. So appreciate you